tū te kupu, toi tū te mana, toi tū te whenua.
Ai te whanonga he whakano I patake te ropu tuine e pāna ki te rangatiratanga, tino rangatiratanga. I know a space that for a long time our people, a lack of people voting on the local body elections, I guess the confidence in an organisation like the council to actually represent Māori and the issues that are important for us.
Yeah, you would have noticed that in my campaign, and the other times that I came in to Tautoko, I spoke on there around education, because in my eyes, education is a huge part of us progressing forward. And for a long time, we've talked about tino rangatiratanga, mana motu hake, but a lot of the corridor that was created around that was during the time of a reclamation of te reo Maori, of our identity, of our belonging to the whenua, to our waters, and that's beautiful and that's fine, and that corridor continues these days, and I know that you've been a part of a lot of those groups, and it has been a way that has, that corridor has allowed Māori to progress and move forward and come back into these spaces and find our tino rangatiratanga. However, I think in the day and age that we live in now, tino rangatiratanga means that we can participate in the effects of us participating and voting in local government, or even the general elections, which are coming up later on in 2023 in October. It's an opportunity for us to come together and to normalise the conversation in our whānau, in our households, in our marae, in our hapu, to be able to say, what are the issues in our rohe? Who are the elected members who are currently speaking to these issues during their campaign? And do we feel that these are the right people that we want to be in Parliament as a representative of our needs? Not the needs that we've had for 1 week or 1 month or 1 year, but the issues that have been affecting us for years and years. And another point of that, Pape Cyril, is that, we would have seen all the promotion, and we would have seen big things happening around census, ngā kohinga tatauranga, and those are still current at the moment. So my message to our whānau is that, you would have got in your mail, or you would have had some beautiful Maori people approach you in Aotearoa over the last 3 weeks to ask you about census, if you've participated in it, and just to fill our whānau in on any little holes that, any partai that they might have around census and what it does. And this is actually a huge part of making sure that we get the funding or the resources required to be able to get proper healthcare, to get proper education, and to get all the resources that we need in our smaller hapori and then Te Taitokiro. Census is very, very important alongside voting e hoama.
Tēnā koe te whananga. The hapu, there's been a rekindling, the re-establishment of hapu structures that are important for looking ahead and how we actually best organise ourselves. And I like to think that when the tupuna chose to extend a hapu or to recreate hapu, it was all about being able to manage the resources, manage the people, and the things that were very much part of our haputanga. Where does this fit into I guess, a role which is very different of the council and in a whole different whare to the whare of our hapu?
Yeah, I guess what it means for a lot of those hapu groups or the iwi groups, for example, I've seen that Ngāti Wai have been alongside Stats NZ and the census teams. They've been promoting the kaupapa and how important it is. And we know that a lot of our hapu and iwi groups receive funding, funding resources to be able to do up their marae, to be able to deliver awesome kaupapa, whether it be kapahaka, wānanga te reo, or to be able to do up their, the kitchens, the kauta that have been there for 80 plus years, they haven't been touched since our kaumātua built them, to be able to rebuild structurally our tapakainga within those hapu iwi spaces. And what it allows for those groups to do is to be able to apply for the necessary funding that they need to ensure that they have resilience within their communities, within their hapori. And while I'm talking about that, I'd also like to mention that, the Whanau District Council are currently promoting on the website the government to reimburse groups for cyclone spending, and that includes those marae iwi and community organisations. And if you found yourself, or your hapu iwi groups found yourself in those positions, in a hard position where you were out there doing community work like Tauti Ihi Marae, who housed over 300 whānau during that cyclone period, there is an opportunity for those whānau, for those marae, to be able to apply to the government, which is National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. So they're handling or they're administering these applications on behalf of the government, and it's capped at 40,000, although organisations may be able to make a further application after discussing their circumstances. So that's just one of the areas where iwi, hapu, marae are engaging with census to be able to get all these numbers together and to be able to tell their whānau, hey, make sure you tick us on your hapu list because it's going to help us all in the long run.
Kapa iho, he pāte anō. What has been the general, feeling of our community to see for the first time in our history Māori representation on local authorities?
Look, from what I've experienced so far, and like I've previously mentioned, it's been around, maybe just over 5 months since we've been in the job. And the response from our whānau has just been super positive. I cannot tell you how many huge smiles I've seen from our whānau when I go out to our community. Even when I just walk down the main street of Kaikohe, when we've gone up the other week, we went up to Kaitaia, to Muri Whenua, to do workshops around the Ngākahu Dam, which is looking at being decommissioned. And it's these Maori ward councillors who have a very close bond with our hapu, with our whānau, who have for a long time been unhappy with the processes that have been delivered within our district. And so we're able to relate to that because we are them. We grew up with all these issues as well. So we know from the get-go what it's like. We also went to visit our whānau, Ruben Taiparima, at Moringaihe, and what a beautiful sight that was. What a beautiful sight to have that whānau pōhiri us on to the whenua, to sit down to wānanga in te reo Māori, in te reo Pākehā, to have a laugh, but in all seriousness, look at a solution as to how we can move forward. So the response from our whānau Māori, and in my view and in my experience, has been very, very positive, and I want to keep it that way. One of the things that I talked about during the campaign is that, in order for us to do good, we need our whānau to be to tautoko us. Yes, it is a hard space. Yes, we are taking on years and years of trauma, but for us to be able to progress forward and seek the solutions that we all need in our district, we all need the support here in council as well.